Good day folks, Sean here from Air Photography. So a couple days ago, DJI released a firmware update for both the RC2 Pro and the DJI RC2. This new firmware update is pretty small, but it adds the ability to add a password to your controller. That's going to give you an extra layer of security in some scenarios. It's not going to be important to everybody, but some people might find that feature useful. Now the firmware version for the RC2 is now version 06.00.0200, and for the RC2 Pro it's now version 1.00.0300. And we'll take a look at how they work here in a minute, but I'll just show you how to trigger the firmware if it doesn't do it automatically for you. All you have to do is go ahead and power on your RC. You want to make sure it's connected to Wi-Fi. And most of the time it will pop up right away that there's a firmware update available. If it doesn't for whatever reason, we can manually trigger it by going to our profile. Then we're going to go to settings, and then we're going to click on check for firmware updates. You can see there it says there's a new firmware update available. We're going to click on update, and there it's going to list what's going to be added during the firmware update. And here for this particular version for both controllers, it says it's add a screen lock feature and fix some known issues. All you have to do is tap download, and it's going to go ahead, download the firmware, and then it's going to install it. And it can take anywhere from 5 minutes, depending on the size and the speed of which you're connected. Could take upwards of 20 minutes. Once the firmware is installed, it's going to add a new feature that allows us to set a password. That way when we power on the controller, it's going to prompt for a password before it continues. And you do have to set that up. And on the RC2, to set that up, we're going to swipe down from the top to bring up our settings. We'll tap that icon there. And if we scroll down, you can see we have this new option called security, and it says screen lock. From there, we'll tap on screen lock, and this is where we can set a password. And it does give you a warning there to make sure you remember your password, because if you forget it, the only thing you can do is do a system restore, which is going to delete all your data, photos, videos, anything you have stored on it. So make sure you put a password in that you're going to remember. So I will go ahead and put in a password here. It also gives you some guidelines on what the password must contain. So just make sure you follow those instructions. We'll confirm the password. We'll click on confirm. So the password has been successfully set. So I'll go ahead and I'll power this off. Now when we go ahead and power it back on, we should be greeted with a password screen. And as you can see there, this is the screen we come to. It's going to ask us to enter the password before we can continue. So we'll just verify that. We'll log in. And there we go. Now, if we want to change our password or remove it, again, we can swipe down to go back to our settings. We'll go back to security. We'll tap on screen lock. It's going to ask us to enter our password. We can then select none, and it'll ask us to remove the password. So now it's gotten rid of the password. So next time we turn it off and turn it back on, it won't ask us for a password, or you can now at this point go in and reset a new one. On the RC Pro 2, it works the same way, except on this one, what we're going to do is go to our settings there on the main screen. We'll scroll down until we see security. And there we have screen lock. And we can go ahead and set our password. Not an important update for everybody. The update did say it fixed some known issues, so that's always a good thing. But for those who want to be able to lock your controller so it prevents people from using it, that's how you now do it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it had value. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.